Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're listening in the world today. Thanks for joining us again. A lot of positive feedback on our first episode, and a lot more good to come. What I want to talk about this week is if you've been listening at all to the news and paying attention to what's going on in the communities around you, there is a real crisis in the housing industry, most specifically as it pertains to affordable housing. Now, when you say affordable housing, what does that mean? It conjures up a lot of thoughts about a lot of different things. One is, am I building something cheap? Am I getting a cheap home? We need to build more cheaper housing. We need to, throw some pallets together and no. That's although that would be affordable, that's not what we're talking about. Affordable housing, you see a lot of it right now in the modular world. Modular solutions of doing, shipping container-ish boxes that are stackable. ADUs, accessory dwelling units, small, 10 by 40, again, about the footprint of a cargo container. You see things like that. We also have, and does it mean that you're building it with inferior products? You're using seconds on lumber. You're using things of that nature. No. What we mean by this is it's all about discovering a smarter way to provide housing. It's a business. Let's face it, folks. In the world of residential construction, in the world of construction at all, or residential development, commercial development, it's all about money. And you can have the best thing in the world, but if it doesn't make sense financially, it's not going to happen. Return on investments. Investors want to see their return on investments. Their equity partners are also going to want that same information. So we have to come up with a smarter way. What can we do to make housing more affordable? You say that's easy. That's a matter of just lowering rents and getting interest rates down. And folks, that's not going to happen. But what we have to do is we have to change the way that we're doing things currently because it's not working. We're not getting enough houses built. We're not getting them done quick enough. And we're not doing them and building them in a way that we can pass on efficiencies that we can find with collaboration, innovation, technology, things of that nature. We have to find a smarter way. This podcast is going to specifically deal with that smarter way being cold form steel utilized in construction. For those of you that may not understand, that's typical metal studs that you see in commercial construction all the time. And the utilization of roll forming equipment and software as provided by one of the industry leaders, FRAMECAD Systems. We will discuss over the course of several podcasts, we will meet fabricators, operators, we'll meet engineers, we'll meet C-level executives within the FRAMECAD organization. We will meet developers. We'll meet all sorts of people in the construction industry and how they're utilizing FRAMECAD systems to build more affordably. How can that be? Well, if you think about it like this, we can be, with offsite construction, you can be constructing, we can be framing your home, we can be framing an entire subdivision while you're doing site prep and you're pouring slabs. When the slab's poured, We can show up and erect, or whoever your contractor is shows up and erects, stands the panels up, puts the trusses on, and you're done in a fraction of a time. You've got a structure done in a fraction of the time that it takes to traditionally frame one. We've utilized less expensive labor, more non-skilled labor in a manufacturing environment. It's safer. It's temperature controlled. All of those things build into efficiencies, better efficiencies in how it's done. Those costs then, of course, can be passed on. Another huge one in that is the return on investment. How much money, how much quicker is an investor going to see that return if they can finish their subdivision, if they can finish their homes 2-3 months sooner? They're getting that sold sooner. They're getting it rented sooner. It just equates. And the quicker to market means they're getting your home before they're getting one that's built down the street in a traditional sense. So it makes sense for the investors, the developers, the fabricators, the framers. It just makes sense all the way around. We say this, we're going to say it over and over. You're going to hear a lot of things, a lot of these phrases that I talk about, a lot of these little buzzwords and points that I talk about. You're going to hear often here because our purpose is to bring awareness to the process. And so this week, we're going to talk to we're going to hear from a couple of people. The first of which is Nathan Salama. Nathan Salama is with Sydney Frames and Truss. And Sydney Frames and Truss is a frame and truss manufacturer in Australia. Both people we're going to hear from today are Australian manufacturers and fabricators. The reason for this is we are going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is done worldwide and has been done for decades with this particular system and systems exactly like it. This is a proven system, a proven technology. Let's listen to what Nathan has to say about what he sees as the biggest advantage that that comes with utilizing and making a move to the FRAMECAD systems.
The biggest advantage that we have with running steel, wall frames, roof trusses and floor joists is the fact that the one FRAMECAD machine can do every application. It can manufacture your wall frames. It marks and prints on everything rather than manually marking. I can do floor joists, I can do roof trusses just using the one machine. So your overall investment and also the footprint that you use in comparison to your timber products is of a huge advantage from a business perspective.
Did you hear what he said? One machine for every application. He does floor joist, roof trusses, wall panels. All can be done on the same machine by utilizing FRAMECAD Structure and FRAMECAD Detailer, the software that's used for design. You can create every unit for and can be done on that roll forming machine. It's basically another term for a CNC machine. Many of you know what CNC machines are as they are in manufacturing. Well, this is a roll forming machine, basically a glorified CNC machine that prints out components that are designed within FRAMECAD Structure and Detailer. We have him discussing more of the amazing advantages that that FRAMECAD brings to the market.
There's some major advantages of using steel framing systems. So what we've found is the service holes that are provided in the wall frames. So what that allows for is your plumbers, your electricians to run their cabling and services through these pre-punched holes that the FRAMECAD machine punches whilst we're manufacturing. So throughout the frames, There's holes through them, so the next trade that comes after us doesn't need to do any manual cutting. It's just ease of installation. Efficiency is what we're trying to provide a product that creates further efficiencies, not just for us, but for other trades that will come after us.
The service holes. Service holes are a big one. And the real key takeaway here is building efficiencies for not just the manufacturer, not just the fabricator or the installer of the wall panels and trusses, but building efficiencies for the trades that come after. In the software, we can put service holes wherever service holes are needed. Now, a service hole is a hole in a framing member. Electrical lines, plumbing lines, things like that can be put in there. And by doing all of this design early on, all these service holes can be put exactly where they need to be so that the MEP subcontractors in the field, that's the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, are not having to do any drilling. They can go in and go right to work. So again, we're building efficiencies. Those efficiencies mean less cost on the job. And let's hear him with this last comment and see what he has to say about quality.
The quality in what we're providing on site is the best in the game.
The FRAMECAD quality is the best in the game. This comes from people that I hear over and over and over again, regardless of where they're at. The quality of construction, it prints on every framing member. It's just an amazing technology. We're also going to hear from Jesse Scott. Jesse Scott is with Austruss, also a manufacturer in Australia. And let's hear what he has to say about the FRAMECAD system.
So speed, cost and quality would probably be the most important factors to our customers. So if one of our customers can reduce their time on site and their overheads for their costs on site by a third, then that's a huge saving. And finally, quality. So if we can design, manufacture and install a quality product with straight walls, level ceilings, and we have no callbacks from follow-on trades when they go to do their part, then that's more time and focus. We can focus on other projects.
Speed, cost, and quality. That's what you're able to provide to the customers. You need to understand that as a FRAMECAD manufacturer, you are working for any number of general contractors, any number of subcontractors. And what you're creating and what you are providing to the client, to the ultimate end user, is speed, cost, and quality. That's the three that you have to attack to make things affordably. John Barry, also with Austruss, says this about the equipment.
My name is John Barry. I'm the operations manager for Austruss. It's a big factor of our business, is those machines running correctly, calibrated correctly, and making sure our frames are up to 100% top quality. As we do more commercial than residential, we can fix any issues that we find here, and then we don't have to rectify them on site. So the quality is a big part of us and making sure it's correct here at the factory.
Again, we're back to someone mentioning quality. Quality is a top priority. It's not just a top priority for FRAMECAD systems, but it's a top priority for the manufacturer and the fabricator and the installer in the field. We go back to Jesse one more time to discuss a few of the benefits of the FRAMECAD system.
So initially we chose to go with FRAMECAD as we saw the benefits of the entire FRAMECAD software right through to the FRAMECAD manufacturing system. Technology with what we do is becoming more and more important as we go on. So we're now using BIM 3D coordination on a range of projects. That's coordinating our like-edge steel framing with the architectural model, with the mechanical model, with the electrical model, and that's being fully coordinated before we get to the point where we're manufacturing the frames in the factory. And we're also using 3D models on a job-by-job basis on site now for installation, so the installer can see which way around that frame or truss goes and make sure they're installing it correctly.
Okay. We have done everything that we can do in such a short amount of time to prove to you and to show you a couple of examples of high quality manufacturing utilizing the FRAMECAD system, one in a residential, primarily a residential market with Sydney Frames and Trusses, and Ostruss, who does primarily commercial work. Both applications, both utilize FRAMECAD systems and utilize them to the fullest. Take some time, if you can, between now and next episode. Go to FRAMECAD's YouTube channel. There are several case studies, recent case studies. A couple of them, two of them are snippets from what we just talked about right here, are from them, and see what other fabricators and manufacturers are saying. And then as we move forward with episodes, future episodes, you're going to hear from people in studio that are manufacturers and fabricators right here in the U.S. We're also going to talk to several people abroad from all over the world. So you're going to want to stick with us. Now, you've built it the old way. Now come on and let's build it better. See you next time.